Hello, hello. We are live with Anno Domini episode 3. And we're finally here. We're finally ready to go. And
Connor finally has his raisins.
Connor finally has his raisins.
Thanks
and
for
that's...
taking so long, Connor.
Hey! What the heck?
It's easier to just blame you.
Why? No!
Hey, I was sitting here and you walked off to get raisins.
Yeah, you
So
had an hour to
I'm
get
just
your
gonna
raise.
throw you right under the bus.
Sure. We could have started about 10 minutes ago.
Raisins.
What did you get then?
Water. I just filled up my water bottle.
Man, that's the same thing. All right, get here.
The problem right there.
Anyways, moving
Would have
on.
been faster had you just gotten raisins.
That's fair. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go through goals. Let's see what you guys want to accomplish this time, because that will give me an idea of what is even going to happen in this session. Because
Yeah, well,
I don't
I'm
So, just as a quick recap, because it's been a very long time since we played this.
yeah.
You guys, the first session, you attempted to rob a nobleman named Bartholomew Babington.
I did wrong.
And yeah, Lisa did rob him. Okay.
For like 10 minutes.
I mean, you did also fail, though. Everybody died. Not really died, but Erastus really died. And then got resurrected by a magical cat. And then you guys were like, we need to go find that carriage and like get our stuff back. The stuff that rightfully belongs to ours, or to us. And then you guys tracked down the carriage to a abandoned village that was slowly being encased by vines. And you met some sprites. You talked with them. You fought a vine beast. And then you had contests with these sprites to get all the stuff in the carriage, and you ended up with even more than that. You doubled or nothing, and you own the village now. The village is still slowly being cased by foliage, but you own it. So congratulations. You're the proud owners of a village.
Now we get the insurance.
There was also a letter in the stuff that hinted at a magical item that Bartholomew Babington was selling to one of the 5 great wizards of England, whose name is I think it was like Oswin something or other.
So we're going to Oswind, or are we going to Bartholomew?
Bartholomew is dead. He's very, very dead.
Okay. What's the wizard's name?
Oswin. Oswin
Oh,
something. or other.
Oswin. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Let me look at
Great
this.
Wizard of
Okay.
Of Oswin, yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
Oswin, Ozpin. Wow,
Oswin.
more original.
Yeah, Oswin Gage.
Osstraw.
Oswin Gage was his name.
Oswin what?
Oswin Gage.
I have no idea how to spell that.
I will spell it in chat for you.
I would assume it's Gauge.
It's Gage, so maybe it's like
Gage.
Gage.
Gauge.
Oswin Gage.
It's hipster gauge.
Yeah,
is what it is.
exactly.
He was Gage before it was cool.
Exactly. Yeah, so that is also a thing. And both Lisig and Ulrich are interested in this magic item, whatever it is. That's being kept there
Either of
for
us know
under
it?
reasons. What?
All
Do
of us.
either of us know what it is?
Oh, what it is? I
Nope.
don't
You just know it's a magical item. Or
Um,
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
know.
I don't remember.
do we have literally any at all tips on where the cat might be?
Nope. You saw him in the village, and he ran away into a bush.
Okay, so we're
Doesn't
just gonna.
Then he waddled away.
Waddle, waddle.
No.
I love that song.
Got any grapes?
Raisins?
Got any
Got
magic
any
item?
raisins? See, I was thinking about it. I was like, what could I put there? That wouldn't be grapes. But yep, that's what it was. Yeah, sorry, David, were you saying something?
Good job, we did
Were you
it.
asking?
No, I was just making a dumb joke. Wait,
Okay.
no, I think we all know what that it exists, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah,
right?
you've seen the cat. You
Yeah,
just
we
don't know
don't
where
know
it
what it
is.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. I thought we were
I'm talking about the
Yep, never mind. The
weapon.
cat.
Oh, the weapon, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, item of some sort. But yeah, so let's go through goals. Let's figure out what you guys want to accomplish. And,
Okay, so I just wrote mine. So obviously I still have get a magic weapon, and then find
Right.
Oswin Gage, and best an enemy in combat.
Okay, yeah, best in enemy in combat. That's a good, simple goal. Cool.
Hey, do you want to fight?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys could just
My
fight in this
goal is
village.
lose in combat. And
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I mean, that could
Perfect.
be a goal.
Just
Not
technically.
sure why that would be your goal, but
I mean, I would never make an impossible goal, so no, I'm kidding.
Oh!
I've already died.
Erastus
so,
Wow,
is
can't make
good.
he has some very bad
That
luck.
was
So
good.
yeah, that's true. Anyways,
yeah, what are your
Yeah.
goals, Erastus?
Loot the village.
And real quick, because we're doing a little bit of recap here. Connor, who's Ulrich Swain?
All right. Do you remember, Connor? Is the real
No.
question.
He's a human fighter.
No, I'm kidding. He's a human fighter. He was raised by a wizard, so he knows a lot about magic. He knows a lot about magical weapons, and he is true neutral. And pretty much his goal in life is to gain knowledge about magic weapons and gain magic weapons. He has like compassion. He has like an honor code, but at the end of the day, he's not really trying to do anything heroic with his life or trying to kill babies.
Okay.
Neither of those things are true.
Right.
Ulrich.
And he doesn't really care about law or order. I'm sorry, or chaos. He's not.
Right.
He doesn't have a preference on how to solve problems. He's just he's a logical guy, and he pretty much is a hedonist. If hedonism instead of just pleasure seeking was knowledge seeking.
Knowledge seeking, right?
Yeah. And his knowledge seeking doesn't really control him. He's a pretty chill dude.
Now, just for a quick point of clarification.
Yeah.
Not smoke weed.
That's not what I was going to ask. If your character is lawful, it doesn't mean necessarily that they care about law, right? It means that they have a code. Like, because you can be lawful evil, right? And just be like, I always murder people because it's the right thing to do, right?
So I think it means basically that you adhere to the laws of whatever culture you come from. I think that's basically what it is, right?
So have to be
no, it's not necessarily a personal code. It's like the laws of whatever culture you come from.
I would think that
you use the law instead of forsaking the law.
Right. Okay, I see.
Because if you think about it, I think neutral good would be, it's my moral code, but I'm like it's my way of solving the problems, but I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't have a particular preference as to
between law or chaos. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I always say
and
law
I mean,
order.
ultimately, the
order
align...
and laws fight with one another, right? Right? Is that how that works?
Ayo.
I guess in some way, yeah, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's actually you, David. Who's Erastus Camber?
So Erastus is a fallen Asimar paladin. Although you wouldn't know it because level 1 paladins can't do anything that paladins can do.
But now you're level 2.
But now I'm level 2, so now I can actually act like a paladin once in a while.
Yeah.
And I died and then was resurrected by magical cats, and I have magical cat powers.
Yep.
And
right.
Then there was some other stuff in there that happened. And my goals are to loot the village, to find if there are any survivors in the village, and to find the magic item that the letter mentioned. Since I think
you did read it, yeah.
Ulrich gave me that letter, so yeah. I am aware that
yeah, cool.
Those are my goals.
Sounds good.
Wait, I have to change one to lose a fight. Sorry. Hold on.
There you go. What were your goals again?
Loot the village, find out if anyone's alive in the village, and find the magic item in the letter, right? Something like that.
Okay.
Yep. Who's Donan? Who's this dude?
Donan McKentigern is a dwarf cleric. Tempest domain dwarf cleric.
Yeah.
With an accent and an attitude and not as many brain cells as he has.
Oh man, I miss those sweet dulcet tones.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, cool. And like all three of you are Robin Hood wannabes, basically.
You got that right.
Is Robin Hood dead though?
You worship like spirits, right, Dona?
I do that.
Yeah.
You laugh now, you won't be laughing when the spirits tie your shoelaces together.
Yeah.
No, it's just the way that you said that.
Yeah.
I do that.
Cool.
That's good.
What are your goals, Donan McKentigern?
Donan's furiously rubbing his two brain cells together to try to come up with goals for this particular session.
Well, you had the goal from before, which is like discover the fate of the village. Did you still want to go with that? Sounds like people wanted to
Right.
explore the village. Remember, discover the fate of the village.
So, would it be weird if I also changed my?
Yes.
Okay.
Kidding. I have no idea what you're talking
Instead of best an enemy in combat, I think I want to change mine to also find out like if there are any survivors from the
Sure.
village, because I feel like that is what my character would actually want over besting an enemy in combat.
Right, because that sounded a little more like a player goal than a
Yeah.
character goal. Yeah, that makes. I mean, you could do it either way, but yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, wasn't that a goal before? Did I ever find out what happened to the people in the
Nope.
village?
No attempt has been made to find out what happened to them, really, except for like walking around the village.
Actually, I was going to ask about that. We didn't ask them what happened because I felt like
You did. They said
killed
Lord,
everybody.
Lord Oberon was the one who like caused the village to go undergo this. As for like where the humans went or like whether or not they all got murdered, that was not specified. They did not.
I mean, there's
answer
not bodies everywhere.
There's not bodies everywhere. It does.
They
It
don't
seems
work.
like very left behind, right? Like everyone just like disappeared and then
Yeah.
like left all their stuff.
That Indian village, which is escaping me. What's the name? You okay there, Connor?
Josh, your goals are great.
You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Or no, it wasn't. It was a pilgrim village. I think. Anyways, doesn't matter.
No, my real
Oh
question
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
what
Like
was
the
Oh, you're talking
13th
about
colony or
Rona?
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is. Thank you. Yeah,
Roanoke,
that-
yeah,
what
that
was
makes
just-
sense.
What was just odd about what?
Roanoke was what I was trying to burn. It wasn't an Indian.
Comparing it to the
It's
village.
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. So Donan, your goals are understand why the village was attacked, hit something with a hammer, and get some more loot.
Aye.
Cool.
Nice.
That they be.
Cool.
I don't understand why I keep losing documents.
That sounds like an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like, what?
Okay. Lisig Lemetier, who are you?
Lisig is a halfling druid with a background as a spy, and
But really,
she
she's
likes stealing things.
Yeah.
And my goals are to get out of this village, speak to Pongarban, and get back what was stolen from me.
Sorry,
That's
speak to
my
who?
question.
Pongarban, the
Pongarban.
cat.
The cat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know we knew his name.
Yeah. Remember the sprite named it Pongarban.
Yeah,
So
no.
that's actually a thing. Lisig, I think now that you've had a moment to like think about that, the name actually, I mean, so this is actually a halfling name because I mean, this is Irish, but like that's halfling. It's a slightly different dialect than what you speak. You speak like Celtic, like Britain, sort of a thing, like a different variation on halfling. But I think you've had a moment to think about it. And like you realize that the name in like Irish halfling language means like white cat. And so like the cat definitely wasn't white. It was like calico, which is just interesting. Yeah, that's the thing that kind of comes to your mind. You're like, oh yeah, that's what that means technically.
So the Fae don't speak.
Or maybe they're colorblind.
Yeah.
Or that maybe. Well, I feel like that's pretty. I feel like mixing up dark and white. I don't know.
The thing is like it's like a calico, so it had like a bunch of different colors.
Yeah.
Right, but usually one of them is dark, isn't it? Unless I don't know cats very well.
Usually the base of
was-
the calico is white.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
The
it
base of the
is?
calico.
but they
was
have a
white,
bunch
yeah.
of like
Oh, the
brown
base of
and
the calico is usually
black
brown.
and-
All right, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
Anyways,
yeah, given the picture, the base was white.
okay, I did not look.
It also was just brown and black too. So.
Okay, I'll just take your word for it. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. That is this party situation. So you guys wake up on the morning of whatever day this is. I don't think we ever specified. It's in March sometime, right? It's in the spring.
And we're all
before
killed by
September.
vines.
No, you spent the night making sure that no one was killed by vines. And you wake up and like the house is very full of vines and like they're definitely creeping upon everything, but like you're not gonna like die. So what do you want to do?
Cool.
Set it
Get
on
out.
fire.
Donut's like, I just wanted it to be over.
Let's go loot the village.
Yeah, you want to go loot the village? I mean, so there's like a big pile of stuff right in this house that you, like, from the carriage and stuff. that
Right.
You could take.
I thought we already got
first.
that. I guess we'll go to that
Yeah,
first.
I assumed that you did. Well, did
Like
we?
to find
Wait, did we
that
ever talk about what that, like, what it actually was though?
I have no
'Cause
idea.
I don't think you guys added anything to your inventory.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, we didn't do any of that.
Yeah. So it would have been whatever was in the carriage, which I believe I described. It was just like gems and jewelry and stuff. There was like a box or a little chest. So I'll go ahead and roll on a random table here, and we'll see what treasure you guys get.
Did we get money
Yes.
last time then, or?
No,
Did
I
we
don't
write
think you
down
guys got
anything?
anything. I don't think we
Okay.
even touched it. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Cool beans.
Yeah. Wow, that's. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. Cool. What's
What?
going on? Okay, I was trying to. Nope. Okay, let me do this one more time. It just randomly was changing what's actually in here. Okay.
Do we find a deck of many things?
No.
No.
I hope not.
Interesting.
all gonna die
What
again.
is going on? It just keeps randomly generating more and more stuff, but like different. It keeps replacing everything. Wow, that's an interesting roll. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you
Aw.
find all of those things.
No. We should find all of those things. Where are they?
No.
Yeah.
See, like the first one was perfect, and then it just replaced it with. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me try
What are
this.
you using?
Donjon. Donjon. Okay, let me quickly copy this so that it doesn't go away. Okay. So, you guys get 150 gold,
Cool.
a small bag of like valuable spices worth 25 gold.
Nice.
Some, let's see.
So do we just convert the money on things that are just meant to be sold, or do we have to get to a town and then convert it? How does that work?
Yeah, you'll have to go to a town and then convert it. 2 gems worth 25 gold each. A polished stone ring worth 25 gold.
Ooh.
And a silk pennant threaded with copper worth 25 gold.
That's interesting.
So it's like,
what was the thing after gems?
a polished stone ring. Yep, so
Magically inclined.
you could make an arcana check to kind of inspect these items.
Do you have detect magic?
Detect magic isn't the thing.
Well, not. I mean, it is a spell, but you don't have it.
Yeah, it is a
Oh.
thing. We're talking about.
Oh, I was thinking of like the skill.
No, it's a.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh!
Okay. Wow. A little loud. So let's see. 19. Yeah, none of it's magical. It just
What?
seems it's all mundane. I'm sorry, Ulrich. I know you're disappointed.
Ulrich sheds a
The
tear.
magic was inside of us all along.
I
What if
put
the
some
real
of it in
magic
there.
items were the friendship we found along the way?
Get out.
Get out.
Okay.
Go get your raisins.
Okay.
Okay, bye. So, yeah. What do you guys do? That's all the stuff that was in the pile next to you.
I'm out of raisins.
No.
Well, that's a good start.
I
Let's
mean-
see what the rest of the town has to offer now that it's all ours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's
Are
just
we
say,
sure that the people who lived here aren't coming back?
See, that's the thing. If you want to find out what happened to the people in the village and then it turns out they're all still alive, you would have definitely just stolen from all of them.
Like,
I don't know if any of you care about that, but this is kind of your job. You're doing the opposite of your job right now if you went and stole from all of these commoners.
Technically,
yeah.
we're stealing from the Fey King, which has to be richer than everybody else who ever stole from. So
all I'm saying is if these people here are actually poor, then we're sort of doing more trouble this way around, you know?
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't see any people, but if you want to go look for them, we could. I mean, I don't think the pixies are gonna. Were they pixies? Is that what they were called? That name? Sprites. I don't think the sprites are gonna tell us.
Get it right.
I don't think the sprites are gonna tell us, given that they just set those vines on us. But you know,
And they
suppose
left
we could
too,
ask.
so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I
they
mean, I
just
know they
flew
left
away.
the building. I assumed they were still around somewhere.
I mean, yeah, you could look for them.
I would think that we need to look for the people who inhabited the village,
Yeah.
signs of them leaving the village.
Yeah, you want to see if there's like
Did they get
tracks you
picked
can
up
follow or something.
and dumped somewhere by the vines?
Yeah.
Pasting
If they're
pictures
still in the
their beds.
village
Let's
now, I
continue.
imagine they're probably dead. But as we haven't seen any corpses, hopefully something else transpired. So yes, we should look for evidence of what happened to them first, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you go? You got a whole map here.
Houses. I suggest we split up.
Bad idea.
Interesting suggestion.
Ah. Ah.
You go left, we'll go right. The ghost will chase you, and I'll drop a bucket on its head. And then we'll pull off the map. And then
And
we'll
suddenly
pull
we're in
off the
Scooby-Doo.
mask and look.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky adventurers.
No. I was gonna say that.
It's the cat, after all.
It's actually the cat.
I mean, this house is pretty big. Did we look at this one yet?
Yeah, you've kind of been everywhere in this house at this point. Because like over here is the kitchen. Over here was
No.
where.
No, the one with the green roof. Did we?
Yeah, that's the one you're in, right here.
Other. No, I'm trying to ping the map.
Oh,
North
maybe I'm
of
not.
there. How to describe it is distinctive, because they all have like the same features. Here. This one.
Okay.
Was this the one we encountered the Fae in the first?
No, you went in this house.
Okay. You know what? Let's check out this one first. Kind of closer to the edge of the village and hidden
Okay.
by some trees, so maybe it would be somewhat isolated from other activity.
Sure.
A little more about what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. So you wanna go over here? Okay. Yeah. So you Donan, you kind of like walk through the village, and is everybody just following Donan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah, I feel like until we determine that this place is abandoned, we should probably stick together.
Yeah.
If we find out that no one else is here and that the enemies are gone, then screw it. We can just do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But till then, yeah.
Yeah. So as you guys are walking through the village, it seems obvious that the village. I mean, you could tell before by being in the house that you guys were in previously, but everything is much more overgrown than it was yesterday. And so especially this house, because it has that grove of trees right next to it, it's like the trees have kind of like encased that half of the house nearest to them, with like a bunch of roots and branches and stuff, just kind of like like starting to like poke into it and stuff. And so yeah, you get up to the door here, and I mean it's closed, but you just walk in. Do you knock? I mean, I don't know why you'd knock, but it's up to
I
Donan.
knock. Oh, okay. I totally don't know.
You can.
I think Donan's gonna rap lightly on the door.
Okay. Yeah. No one answers. Yeah.
He's gonna stretch upward a little bit and reach and look through the keyhole
Okay. Yeah.
because he's short.
Yeah. You see inside that it seems like there is a thin layer of soil that's just kind of started to cover the house inside. It seems like a normal house, or at least it was. But like, yeah, there's a thin layer of soil, and there's like tiny little shoots like of plants, like kind of starting to grow up in between like the floorboards and stuff.
Okay. I think he tries just to open the door.
Okay, yeah, it opens, swings open, kind of creakily. Yeah, I mean it's a normal looking house. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I guess it has some carriage, or it's like a carriage in the back here and stuff. Let's say this is like a cartwright's house. And so most of this beginning part here is just like a house, but you can see partly where in the back of the house, you see like it transitions into a workshop kind of area, and there's like, stuff for making wheels and various other like pieces of carts and whatnot, fixing axles, all that stuff. Yeah, it seems like, again, like whoever was in here just kind of got up and left or something. Nothing's really disturbed except for the plants. Like
Any footprints in the soil?
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Okay. Can I make an insight check instead?
No, insight is for human hearts. Well, there you go. That wasn't bad. Yeah, that was a really good roll for Donan. Yeah. So
do I have to have it trained? I have to have it trained, don't I?
no, you can just do it.
Oh, okay.
No. That's
just
because the burning wheel will make it more complicated. But stuff like that
PTSD.
too.
Burning wheel.
Yeah, sorry. The difficulty was actually a 26. No, the successes are just half. You gotta roll the 9. So yeah, Donan, I think you don't find any like footprints, and I think like that's something you've noticed throughout the whole thing. Like even like the normal wear and tear of like people walking through the village seemed to be muted, like it had been like filling over. So like footprints in like the dirt of the road in the village itself was kind of being covered over by dirt. Like it was definitely as if like the village was just abandoned. But as you walk through it today, it seems like more and more like it seems like it's been abandoned longer than it should have. But the house itself is pretty much clear of like footprints or any recent human like moving around. But you do find something. So kind of wedged in between some of the floorboards, like underneath some soil, you kind of like, spread some or like, shift some of it away. And you see like an old tunic just kind of like wedged partially in between the floorboards as they're kind of like being cracked open by like the plants that are kind of like, reaching around everywhere.
Donan's gonna try to pull it out.
Yeah, and you firm tug, kind of like lets loose, and it's dirty because it's been in like soil and stuff. But it's not like a really old tunic. Yeah.
He's gonna give it a sniff.
Okay, it smells very earthy. And then to do what? Sorry.
Is it his size?
A little bit taller than you. The person, it was like an average human height, so not like super tall, but like tall enough so that you wouldn't be able to wear it.
Of course. You don't make your clothing accessible. He's gonna toss it out. He's gonna toss it toward the wardrobe or whatever happens to be nearby.
Yeah. What are the rest of you doing as Donan's just kind of like CSIing stuff in here? The dog is freaking out, but
Give me a sec.
I'm gonna go see if there's any like documentation in any of the bedrooms or anything, any papers to read. If there's any kind of like, hey, we're leaving. writing a
right.
letter.
Yeah, you find a mysterious
Sign.
note on the dresser that says, "They're coming. We can't get out." Drums
Like
in the
your-
deep.
Yeah, journals or anything like that.
Yeah. Make a investigation check yourself.
I'm gonna make a dwarven history check to see if I recognize the poem that the GM has just mentioned.
Wrong universe.
Not gonna set, fine.
Yeah, so Erastus, you don't find anything. And so this section of the house right over here is where like the bedroom is, and it's like almost entirely encased in like vegetation and like plant matter and branches and things. So it's kind of hard to find anything in there.
The bed's empty.
Yeah, there's no people in the bed. Yeah.
So just if we check every, normal space in the house, there's no people.
No, yeah, definitely no people.
And no suspiciously thick bulging plants that look like they're eating people.
Not to that extent. You maybe see. I mean, the plants definitely look weird, and the branches are extended and weird looking. But like, it's definitely unnatural the way they're growing and all that stuff. But like, it doesn't seem like one of the trees has eaten a person and has like it's slowly like Python like in like digesting them through the root system. No, that's not a thing you find.
Okay.
Leesig, what are you doing?
Just quietly walking around, examining everything,
seeing
if there's anything expensive.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to make an investigation check to see if you find anything? I mean, this is a Cartwright's house, so probably not, but who knows?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you find anything in particular. Yeah.
Does he have a bigger hammer than I do?
I don't know, Josh. You tell me. I honestly don't know enough.
Cartwright, no. Cartwright.
Yeah,
would
I would.
Have a
That's
big
my.
hammer.
Yeah,
Or
I didn't
hammer.
think so.
Blacksmith, maybe. Miner, possibly. Cartwright, no.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is that he's a Cartwright and a Wainwright at the same time. I think it's a Wainwright.
That sounds right.
Makes wheels.
Right. I mean, it's a small village, so he just doubled
Small
up.
village.
Yeah.
The guilds aren't there to tell him he can't be both. So.
Exactly.
His
He's
name
also
was
the
Jack.
librarian,
Yeah.
That's fine.
His name was Jack.
Yeah, Jack of all trades.
He was interested in all trades, you might say.
Anyways.
Are there obvious entrances to a roof or a wine cellar or an attic?
Yeah. I think there's an entrance to some sort of like cellar, where you might have kept like spices or foods or something like that.
Wine cellar or root cellar?
I think of like a root cellar, probably. And now it's become even more of a root cellar because it's literally like covered in roots. Yeah.
Ronan is disappointed in the lack of wine cellar.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this guy was a big drinker of alcohol. The mayor of the village, definitely, because he mixed drinks with him.
What about
I love how it's Donan that's like leading the investigation on this. It's great.
I mean, Donan's genuinely curious.
So I think as you kind of are like walking around, I think.
Can I make a?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if this would be a history check or a religion check, but I want to think a history check. In the past, when things have ticked off King Oberon,
right.
King Oberon,
yeah.
What have those things been? What are some of the things that Donan would know?
Okay.
Have ticked off King Oberon?
Yeah, make a history check. Let's find that out, shall we? I mean, the obvious one is anything having to do with his wife, Queen Titania. They have a very, very strong feud, and basically that's the thing that gets him ticked off the most is if he sees Titania making some sort of plan or machination or basically doing anything that he thinks might be threatening him, he usually reacts to it rather badly. That's the main thing you think of. That's the most obvious thing. Though I think with a 16, you maybe just have the slightest inkling of something else. I think you remember seeing some sort of story. And so, like, Oberon is kind of a figure that you're probably more familiar with than anyone else in this party because he's connected with the spirits that you worship. But Oberon is... You remember seeing a story of some sort where Oberon was, like... talking with a god, like the god of the forests, I think, and like it was like it was like an epic poem that you read, and it was basically like this long soliloquy where Oberon was like asking him about godhood and like what it was like, and like what are the responsibilities, what are the privileges, that sort of thing. And then he tried to get the god of the forest to like make him a god, and the god of the forest was like, sorry, I can't do that, like I just don't have the ability to. And he got kind of mad. And so that's a thing you remember, maybe that comes to mind.
Okay. None of that sounds particularly related.
No.
Donan is perplexed. Also, Josh likes that word.
What is Ulrich doing, Connor? Well, people are CSIing the area. You're muted. You're muted.
I have
There
no,
you go.
sorry. I have no idea what's happening. What's going on?
Donan and Erastus and Lisa are kind of just like casing the place. They're just like looking around the house, trying to discover anything about what might have happened to the people.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm probably looking with them, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. What are you looking for specifically?
I mean, I feel like I need to give him more dimensions than he looks for magic. So, athletics. He can use his athletics. He's gonna try to like climb stuff and try to see.
So like toss the place.
Yeah.
Wait, but I'm confused. What do you mean? How are you
Shot
using
put
that?
the entire village.
I don't know.
Did you say shot foot the entire village?
Yeah. It's the only track reference I have for throwing something.
Yeah.
So I'd like javelin, but that didn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
No. I think he only has one dimension. I'm not sure what else he can really contribute here.
I mean, basically, we've established that these people, at least in this house, seem to have more or less disappeared, except for like one article of clothing. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it seems like the thing to do would just be to confirm that that's the case all around the place, and then if we can't find somebody to tell us where they went, then just assume that they're all gone or dead.
Oh, you can do an investigation check. He has a +3 unit for intelligence.
Yeah. What are you trying to find specifically, though?
Weapon investigation. Oh, I see.
Right, because Donan and Erastus and Lisek all did investigation checks for different things. So Erastus was looking for any documents that might exist here. Donan was like kind of just like casing out the place and seeing if there's any sign of human activity. And then Lisek wanted to see if there's anything valuable. I mean, you could just play to your strengths and try to see if there's anything magical at play.
I want to do
particular,
a history
specifically.
check and see
Okay.
if anything like this has ever happened before.
Right, of like villages being encased in. I feel like this might have already happened though. I feel like someone made a history check about this. Maybe not.
Oh,
don't know.
Donan
think
tends
so.
to make history checks for things,
It's
so
true. I mean, you can still make it. I'm just trying to remember what I might have said before. But yeah. go
Yeah,
ahead.
we never did one specifically to find out if it
Okay.
had happened before, I don't think.
Go ahead. And I just listened to them too, so I don't remember specifically either. So, okay, yeah. So 17. I think. I mean, you've heard stories, I'm sure, of like, Fey trickery and whatnot, and there's probably been a story or two you've heard about like magical growing plants. Druids have a thing. They can usually like make plants grow faster than they're supposed to. Druid groves are usually like that. They like shape the trees to like make them how
This
they
is
want them to
Lisik's
be.
fault, that's what you're saying.
I punch Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like druids are people that do this, but like Fae also have like ways with nature, trees specifically, and so
Right, but has this ever happened?
yeah,
before?
has this ever happened before? I don't know if you I don't know if you know a specific time, like a specific instance that really stands out to you that like it was like documented to actually have happened. It's just like legends and stories and stuff. Some with having to do with the Fae, some having to do with druids, usually in like some sort of legend or epic poem that might not be completely trustworthy. Yeah, and so
That's
you got a good
good.
roll. It's just like you can't think of anything specifically. There might not be anything to know.
Well.
Mhm. I mean, this is just one house too. You guys can like go
Yeah.
around and look somewhere.
I mean, are we gonna do each house in detail, or do we want to
Not
just be like,
necessarily. But just like tell me what house would you go to next if you kind of like you're like, well, there's nothing really here we can look at.
so, some of these houses have enemies. I'm just kidding. I mean, I feel like we should just go down the street and then cross. Like if we just go this way and go in each house in turn.
Okay, so here's an interesting question. We saw goats on the way in, right?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, they're up at the top.
Yeah.
Where's the goat herd's house? Like, do we know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like right here.
Because I would think we maybe want to take a look there.
Yeah,
Goats
that's
seem
something you could
to
do.
be the only other life we've been explicitly
true,
told
yeah.
about besides the cat and the fae,
Mm-hmm.
fairy, pixie people.
Sprites. You just corrected me a
Right.
second ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
yes,
You guys want to go over to the goat herd's house?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and it looks like there's like a pen that they just like broke out of and then they weren't supposed to. And they're like eating various things in the field. Would everyone like make a perception test for me as you're kind of like getting closer to the goats?
Wow. 7.
Ouch.
Ulrich. Connor, perception test.
Yeah. Hold up a second.
I just wanted to see.
I dropped something before.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, I know it.
Perception?
Mhm.
Yay.
Yeah, so I think it's you, Ulrich, who notices this. So
Yay.
these two goats kind of in the middle here. There's a
Person with
weirdly
+0.
there's a weirdly shaped mound of vegetation. It doesn't look like any plant that you've seen before, and it wasn't obvious to you until you got closer to it. It's just like a mound of plant, some sort of vegetation that's just kind of like laying there, and the goats are kind of like chewing at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of looks odd to you.
I stab it.
You walk over and stab it.
I'm gonna pretend like I know something, and I'm gonna walk over there and be like, "All right, come on out."
Okay, I mean, as you get closer, the goats start like bleeding at you, and they're kind of like putting their hooves on the ground, like stay away.
I want to talk to one of
I
the
draw my
goats.
sword.
Okay, yeah. You want to cast Speak with Animals?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Are you doing that like as a actual like spell slot? Or I think you can do it as a ritual. I think you can, but I don't know if you had 10 minutes to spare. Let me look at your spells. Yeah, so I mean, you could choose to. You have 2 spells this day. You could choose to spend one of those spell slots to just cast it, or you could spend 10 minutes casting it as a ritual. I don't know if you have 10 minutes to spare, but.
Well, that's ominous.
Well, no, not like that. Like, if you wanted to like talk to the goats right now, like,
Oh.
right as you guys are
Yeah.
getting closer to them. Otherwise, you just kind of be standing there for 10 minutes.
I'll just cast it as a ritual.
Okay. Yeah. So, Ulrich, I mean, you get Lisig starts casting the spell, so you're casting it as a ritual, so like 10 minutes. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, Ulrich, as you get closer, the goats start like pawing the ground, like stay away, sort of thing. What would you do?
Do I know that Lisig's talking to them?
No, she's just
Well, I
casting
haven't
a spell.
started talking to them yet.
Oh,
She's probably like over here, right? Like kind of casting
Well.
a spell.
I don't know. I mean,
You could
I
just
don't
make an
really
animal
know.
handling check to try to like calm them down.
Oh.
Like that's a skill.
I have that skill too. 20.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So what do you do, Ulrich, to calm these goats down?
Nice.
It's a great question. There's gotta be something cool. I wanna
Start
make him
speaking
more
in parcel
endearing.
tongue.
No.
No, you speak in goat language, so you just go.
No.
Hello,
Could make
dumb.
you could make some dumb goat jokes.
What's up, goats? What? No. I want to make him endearing. Come on.
No, not deer. Goat.
Hey. Don't you
It's
make
not wrong.
Anyways.
He starts singing.
I think you know
you
an
have to make a
old.
performance roll.
No, because this is part of the animal handling. I think Connor, you know, Ulrich knows a old like orc goat herding song that like he sings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's not the most pleasant thing to listen to, but like goats aren't the most pleasant thing to listen to either. So like
Right.
it's fine. The goats don't mind.
Yeah, my initial reaction is just like, what are you doing? You're going to scare them.
Yeah, the goats seem to like it, and they seem
Start
to yeah.
grunting and growling at them.
Yeah, and then they just kind of go back to their eating.
Or
But yeah, so Ulrich, you stand in front of the little mound.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
I think I'm gonna. I just speak as if somebody's inside.
Right.
Like
So you say like, come out.
have you found something, Ulrich? Walk over.
Yeah, I mean, a moment passes and nobody like, because I was like, oh man, you got me, and it comes out.
You got me. No.
Does not happen.
I reach inside.
Okay. I mean, you just like put a hand on it and like try to like push your way into the mound of vegetation.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a like. How are you? I mean, you reach a point where you're just like, I can't really get it in. You have to make a roll. Like what? How are you trying to do this? Maybe like athletics, just to like
Yeah.
dig your hand in there to find whatever's in the middle of this thing.
Yeah.
Ulrich, what do you imagine you're going to find in there?
I have no idea. Just let me do this.
Yeah. All right. Suit yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think you reach in far enough, and we just see like the goats kind of like stop and like look at you as you just like like elbow deep inside this like mound of vegetation, just like what something. Yeah, and I think you feel something hard. You feel something like solid inside. Like,
I swear this is goat poop.
why would goat poop be
Why would
solid?
it be solid?
How would it get in there?
Yeah, you feel something solid. You're not sure what it is. You could probably like grab part of it and like try to yank it back out.
Okay.
Okay. It seems to snap as you like pull on whatever it's attached to, and yeah, you come out with like a rib.
Yep.
Oh
Oh,
god.
that's not what I was expecting.
That is what I was expecting.
Does Lisa
I mean,
say that, or there's
In-
that just Carly
in
saying
character,
that?
that's not what I was expecting.
She probably says it under her breath, but
He just looks at it and he goes, just puts it back. And then he kind of like gives it like a half bow and just kind of backs away. Like, I just disturbed the dead.
So I feel like there should be a roll here to see if we have any reference for what this is.
Yeah, Ulrich, do you want to make a?
What?
I don't
Is
know.
this an ancient goat herding burial ritual?
Maybe just an Arcana check, Ulrich.
yeah, can I make a roll for that too?
Yeah. Maybe just one of you make it with advantage. Probably is what this is, because you're all probably thinking about it.
Probably.
What does advantage mean?
Maybe to get a 13.
Yeah, you still get just get a 13. So.
You pick the better of the two rolls.
But yeah, I mean, I think you start to kind of like think about this, and you're like, okay, maybe you like start looking around at the rest of the like vegetation in this village, and you start thinking like, wait a second.
Converted the people into plant man.
Land people.
I mean, it's definitely what happened with Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a lovely thought.
So you just like standing there like,
Yeah.
Perhaps we should have
Has the 10 minutes passed yet?
oh sure, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll just stand there for 10 minutes.
I mean, I think Donan, if we're going to be standing here for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
Donan's
Yeah.
going to look for other mounds of similar.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
you
probably
want to
gonna go
make an
inside.
investigation check to show like investigate the other plants. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like the easiest one for you guys to like find. You can see, I mean, there's lots of trees, there's lots of like other plants and stuff, but it's hard to what's the word? It's hard to corroborate that theory. You can't find any other like weirdly shaped mounds with people inside them. You could guess at just be like, I wonder if there's a person inside that tree, but like can't really break it open necessarily. So
Is that a challenge?
I mean, you could try. Last time I remember though, Donut had a hammer and not an axe.
With enough force behind it, a hammer's more effective than an axe.
Not at chopping down trees.
Up until that threshold, the axe is better.
I
But
mean,
the
yes. If you were,
instant your hammer is moving faster than that threshold, the tree will just explode.
you might have to be a few magnitudes.
That is true.
larger to reach that threshold. Unfortunately.
I'm a tempest dwarf.
Well, in that case, I think lightning is doing the work and not your hammer. But that's semantics.
I don't think Donan would actually start hitting trees with his
Yeah.
hammer, though. That's a little too insightful, even for Donan.
I'm gonna go check inside the house.
Yeah,
if you
sure.
got
Want to make an
minutes to that.
investigation check? I mean, it's a house. It's
Right.
not.
Wow. Can I get an advantage?
If someone else is just
Somebody
exploring with
pet
you.
me. It's actually 20 because I get a -1. So. Crit, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the least or what's the word I'm looking for? Man, I can't think. The least
Overgrown?
strange, yeah, overgrown, like the least strange of all the houses. Like it seems the most normal, basically.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of vegetation, but I mean, it's also not close to any trees, so.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, you don't see any like other interesting things inside.
I'll come back out probably just as Lisi's finishing her ritual and be like,
Yeah, sure.
click anything notable in there either.
Yeah. So, Lisa, you finished your ritual and you cast Speak with Animals, and then what do you want to say to the goats?
I want to say, I want to like just kind of go up to one and like cross my arms in front of me and just kind of stare at them and be like, "What happened here?"
Yeah, I think the goat like looks up and then kind of like bleats a little and says, "Well, are you just demanding?"
She drops her arms. No, just asking.
I don't need attitude, girl. What do you want to know?
I want to know what happened here.
In what time frame? Today?
Oh my god.
Earlier?
When did everything turn into plants?
And it does a thing that, like, you understand to be a shrug, but, like, obviously goats don't shrug in the same way humans do. The thing is, like, so this is actually a thing that I know because I did a whole paper on the linguistic capabilities of animals.
I thought you
They
were
don't...
gonna say specifically goats, and I was like, what are they?
No, specifically prairie dogs. I did it on prairie dogs, but they have like the most advanced linguistic capabilities. But it's really hard for animals to reference things in the past or future. They can tell you as much, lots of stuff about the present, but like you ask them like, when did all the people turn into planets? They'll just be like, time. What is time?
Do you ask him where his master is? That's a present question. But he probably also won't know the answer to.
I mean, so you asked him, right? Like when did all the people turn into plants? And he shrugged basically and just said like, he says, all I know is that the plant that I'm currently chewing on is delicious. And he's chewing on the like master plant. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
His old like sheep goat herder body basically.
Yeah, I think she just walks away frustrated.
I mean, you can make a
Like,
persuasion
gosh.
check. You could try to like he's just kind of I think you can tell a little bit, Lisa. You know animals well enough. He's being a little like obstinate on purpose because he's a goat.
Okay.
You could probably get more information out of
Hate
him if you
goats.
tried to persuade him.
I think Lisa, if she doesn't already, she now has a grudge against goats. She just doesn't.
I mean,
like
you
them.
don't like domesticated animals, probably.
Yeah.
Wild animals are better.
Yeah, I'll make a persuasion check.
Mhm.
What does it look like when you talk to a goat?
That's a good question. Like, am I making animal sounds,
It's up
or am
to
I
you.
just talking normally, and the goat's just
I don't think
bleeding?
the spell specifies, so I think that's kind of
Does it have
Okay.
somatic components? Well, I guess that'd be to cast.
yeah.
it.
That would be to cast it, not to.
Yeah.
I think it just says like you can speak with animals. I don't think it specifies what that looks like. You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, the beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day.
Dang it!
Two. Ouch.
You might be able
I
to
really
persuade-
don't like goats.
Oh wow, that was such a bad roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the goat basically just like kind of snorts a little bit and then says, "You're interrupting my meal."
That's where she walks away frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, gosh, goats are no use.
Yeah, it's true.
So you can speak to animals now? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, that's true. You've never seen him. You've seen her do this.
What did it say?
Nothing useful. It's a goat.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Wait, what did you decide it sounds like when you?
I think it's just. Okay, Caleb, could it be me using Druidic and them understanding me? Or
Oh
would
yeah,
that
that's
not
that's
work?
super cool. Yeah. You're just
Okay,
signing to the
then-
goat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a mix of an unknown verbal language and hand movements that like accent the language to make it mean different things.
Okay.
So it's like this weird image of Lisa looking at a goat and saying weird words you've never heard and doing things with her hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Gotcha.
Are you still drunk from last night?
I didn't get drunk last night.
Was gonna say, I didn't think you drank that much. I mean, being as small as you are, you probably can't hold much, but still. So what are you doing with the goat?
Talking to it.
What did it tell you?
Nothing useful. It's a goat.
I feel like you, as your character, probably realized that this wouldn't be as much of use because you probably talked to goats before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of
Yeah, which is
realized
why
that
she
it's
says
probably-
that. Like
yeah.
she doesn't mean for it to come off as like, oh, obviously like it's not useful because it's a goat and people can't
Right.
talk to goats. But she's meaning like I've had
I've had conversations with goats
before.
before,
They're
yeah.
never useful.
No,
I
I
thought
think
I'd try anyway.
Donan totally takes it the other way though.
Yeah, sure.
I think he at this point Donan thinks she's crazy.
Yeah. Then why are you talking to the goat? Maybe. All right. Well, since the ghosts are useless, I think perhaps we should check the rest of the houses. I mean, I have a feeling we're not going to find any survivors, but on the off chance we do, we might as well look. And if nothing else, we can make this trip worth something.
So if I'm trying to decide whether my character would think of something or not,
Mm-hmm.
would that
Roll.
be like, could I roll an insight?
What are you trying to know specifically?
He's trying to connect. I have a suspicion that we might find more things through that crack in the floor
Hmm.
than just the tunic that we did.
Mm-hmm.
But Dona didn't look too close at it. So now with knowing that there's a body in this strange mound of plants,
I mean, your intelligence is a 10, which is like an average person. So
so Donan probably would think to
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
go back
that's
and
not
look at it again.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm gonna go back and take a look at that crack in the floor again, and
Okay. Yeah.
there was something pulled down through it rather than just plants pushing up through it.
Yeah. So, you go back to that. Does everyone just follow Donan when he goes over
Yeah.
to check this?
I was gonna go over to these other houses, but if he
Jinkies, I've got an idea.
okay,
Zoinks.
Velma, what's your idea?
Zoinks, Scoop.
Well, I put 2 and 2 together.
Gosh.
Oh man.
I want to have a look at that Cartwrights again. There was something there we missed, I think.
What's that? What do you think we missed?
There was a hole in the floor, and I didn't look too closely,
Dear Eliza, dear.
but there might be something down there.
I suppose it's worth a check. A perception check, I might say.
Yeah. Make a. So you're trying to just like look at the spot particularly.
Well, he goes up to it, and then he's like, "Hey, so Erastus,
Yes.
you've got long arms, right? You want to go ahead and see if there's anything down there?"
So how big is this hole? Can we not just look in it?
So it's just like a kind of like a space between the floorboards that's been like yanked open by like a root or something like that. And that's what it looks like at least. But there's not a root like in it necessarily. It's just kind of like looks
Right.
like some of the other floorboards do, where they've been like torn apart
Is
by
it
like
bowed
plants.
in?
It's bowed
in
like
or
to the
out?
side.
Oh, it's just flat pulled apart.
Yeah, so there's like 2 floorboards next to each other, and they're just like kind of like
Are they
cracked.
like lifted above the others or pulled beneath the others, or how does that work with the rest?
Probably
of the
above.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably above.
Okay.
I suppose we could get something to pry it open with, and I can see what's down there, if anything, of course.
Yeah,
I'm
sure. You
gonna
want
look
to make a
for like a. Yeah, I mean we're in a cartwright. I assume he's got.
you can find some
some
sort of tool,
kind of
no
tool.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like a crowbar
I'll
or
just
something.
try and crank it open, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, go make an athletics
I
check
need to make
with
that? Okay.
advantage.
All
Yeah,
right,
no problem.
I get a 19. I almost got a 5.
Yeah, so we see Erastus just kind of like yanking this thing open. Yeah, I mean, you want to like just kind of like dig your hand into the dirt there. There's like soil underneath.
Oh, it's just dirt.
Yeah, it's like loam, really. It's like very
Okay.
soft dirt.
Then I just look up at Dawn and I'm like, looks like dirt to me. Doesn't look like there's anything down here. I'm not gonna just stick my hand down there because I just think it's dirt. So
I mean, Donan is curious about the dirt.
Right,
I mean,
I think
there
David's just
could
saying
be-
like he wouldn't automatically just
there
like
could
stick
be
his hand
trouble.
out.
Erastus
there,
is
you
not
know.
curious about the dirt. So if you would like to do it, feel free.
You've got longer arms than me, Erastus. You want to reach down in there and see if you can find anything
In the dirt underneath the house.
in the dirt underneath the. Look at that! Does that look like that's been years of stuff dripping down between the floorboards, packing it down all flat like?
I mean, does anything around here look like it was done naturally?
Not nature, yeah.
It's all
the
natural.
It's the distinct lack of human presence that's the problem in this particular scenario.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyways,
Stick your hand into the dirt and tell me what you find.
I'll humor him. I'll.
Okay.
Well,
This tiny, this little dwarf is.
Yeah.
he
Okay.
just sighs and scoops a handful of dirt and shows it to Darren.
Yeah.
Still dirt.
He still hasn't stuck his hand in. Yeah.
Or no, I mean I scoop.
Right. You
Dirt
scoop it, but
yeah.
like
Don't
just
want
put-
you to reach
yeah.
in and feel around. There's something buried under the pile of loam there.
All right. Well, I have a rapier, which is a thin blade, so I'll just slide the blade into the loam, as it were, and see if I connect with anything.
Nope. it goes all the way to the hilt and then seems like it still wants to sink further.
Oh
Okay,
gosh.
well that's intense. That's really deep.
Yep.
Yeah, so he just pulls it out. And he's like, "Oh, it didn't seem like there's anything in there, but it does seem rather deep." And now I'm not entirely certain how much I trust this building's foundation.
You see what I
We
mean?
should
No, that's not natural.
Right, exactly.
Is there other like spaces between floorboards or things like that in the building?
No, it's just really this one.
Hmm.
I'm going to exit the building.
Okay.
Donan's gonna investigate well,
Yeah, I mean, do you want to check like underneath another floorboard to see if like, right?
Yeah.
Pry one open. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna grab the crowbar and yoink up another floorboard.
Yeah, sure.
You have the shatter spell?
Yoink.
No.
No, what? Don't you have a yelling loudly spell or some sort? Thunderwave or something.
Thunderwave.
You should
Okay.
thunderwave the house and see if it collapses.
Oh my god.
Or something.
I don't have Thunderwave charged.
Oh,
Sorry.
wait, but we just took a long rest. Oh, I see. You didn't prepare it. Okay.
Because I'm only allowed a certain number of spells to prepare.
Right.
Correct?
So Donnie, I
many
think.
Can I prepare?
It's a good question. Let me look.
Wait, I thought wizards prepared. Don't clerics just? have
No, it
magic?
works the same way basically.
Oh, it does? Okay.
So clerics, they have the entire list available to them, like wizards do.
Oh.
It's sorcerers that are different. Sorcerers and
Okay,
warlocks
yeah,
and
and warlocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
and bards and whatnot.
And yeah.
Let's see. So
Warlocks. Are the
you
real
can
weird ones.
prepare a number of cleric spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your cleric level.
Okay.
So 1 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
3. So
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
And Thunderwave is not among them.
Okay.
So no, I'm not going to Thunderwave down the Cartwright's house.
I'll huff and I'll pluff and I'll thunderwave your house down.
So yeah, Donan, do you want to just like pry up one of the other floorboards though and just see if there's like a similar situation? Yeah, and I don't think you need to roll for that. I think you can just do it. Basically,
Wow,
Erastus's roll has told us that they're pretty
I'm
easy
just
to
kidding.
pry. So
Is Lisi staying in the house? I'm just curious for when it collapses, how many people die.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, she's curious about this deep
Okay.
dirt pit.
Ulrich's just hanging out with the goats still, apparently.
what's Ulrich doing?
Video game or something. It's fine.
Connor?
Oh, my name is Ulrich.
Yep. That's you.
Still going to be a
Yeah.
problem, isn't it?
Oh my god.
We haven't
What-
done it in like over a month.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I mean, I'm going to continue answering to Ulrich too.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And you haven't played that character in like a year.
Yeah.
Yes, but how can one
Yeah.
forget Ulrich, the Demon King of Fjellrack?
It's true.
I had the
Ulrich, the
same
Demon
issue
King of
with
Fjellreich is amazing.
Dylan and Dylan.
Yeah,
so
that's
I know
true.
your pain. It's
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, Ulrich, did you go over to the house when everybody else did too? The Cartwright's house again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, are you just inside like looking at this like dirt pile then? Like everybody else is? Okay. Yeah, so Donan, you pry open one of those floorboards and the like floor underneath, I mean, so the thing is like you pry open the floorboard and it's like a foundation. Right? Like a normal house. Like you wouldn't just have like wood and then the ground.
Right.
So there's obviously something different about whatever that spot is. It's kind of weird.
Erastus,
Yes, Donan, what is
The
it?
dirt is
Calling
hard
you
in
through the
here.
door.
The dirt
What?
is hard in here.
The dirt is hard. That's not soft and loamy like the other one.
Me.
Loamy.
I'm- what is?
I
is
just
your
want
point?
to frolic in the loam.
I want to see if I have any spells that make this list.
That's different from the other one, and I'm not so sure that we should just dismiss this pile of loam as ground.
Can I do either a Arcana check or do a detect magic spell on this?
Yeah.
I don't know what the necessarily
let's
the
see.
difference
Can you
is
do
of
detect
those are?
magic as a ritual? Does it have a little R next to it?
Mine doesn't, but I don't know if it's different for.
Yeah, I think there are some classes that just can't cast things as rituals. So
Yeah. It's a concentration.
Yeah, detect magic is a ritual spell. You can cast it as a ritual. So you want to just spend 10 minutes and.
I guess so,
Yes.
but like, what's the difference between doing that and just
It
making
doesn't
an
cost
Arcana
us.
check?
It doesn't. Oh yeah. Arcana check would let you like kind of like know about magical things about it, but like whether or not it's magical, that sort of thing. Detect magic tells you the specific school of magic that is at play if there's any magic here.
Okay.
It also works in like an area. You just look around. And
So
see
if you did detect magic as a ritual and then did an Arcana check, once you know any information about this, then it would probably give you the most information possible.
Okay.
Can I
Right.
do a helping roll with that as Arcana, or how does that work?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
that?
Lisig, I assume you just cast it first as a ritual.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, let me double check the spell schools here.
Earthbending, I think is the one you're looking
Yeah. Yep. Where? Schools of magic. Yeah, spells by school. I think this is. Wait. Gotta find this. It is conjuration magic at work here. Which is, I mean, you can do the obvious, which is, conjure things, like summon things. But
like this whole place, or just
Yeah, when she looks around, is it just magic everywhere?
no, it's just this. I mean, the plants probably have like yeah. The plants probably have conjure. Yeah, it's all conjuration magic. Yep, that's what it is. Yeah.
okay.
You sense a lot of conjuration magic, and it's like 30 feet that you can do this in. Like that's the range of the spell, but like within 30 feet, yeah, there's lots of conjuration magic, and so that can be obviously like conjuring things to like aid you, but also like any damage spells are also conjuration spells, and then also like teleportation is conjuration as well.
Oh.
Yeah, anything that like having to do with dimensions is also conjuration.
So I make a Arcana check now?
Yeah, with advantage because Ulrich is probably.
Oh,
helping.
whoops! I just rolled twice.
No, it's all right. So you get a 12 then. I mean, the obvious thing. I mean, you put a couple of things together that are kind of obvious, but like obviously someone caused these plants to like grow more, and so that's conjuration. Like they probably summoned. There's some sort of weird like summoning of plants at work here. Though, now that I'm thinking about it, there might actually be there's also transmutation magic at play here, which is like changing one thing into another thing. Specifically on like the tree, like a couple of the trees that are like behind you.
It's probably the dead bodies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the conjuration magic directly below you. I mean, you go through the 3 different options, right? Like, okay, it could be someone conjured like something to aid them, but like it's you can tell it's not like an earth elemental or something like that. But it's also not like a damage spell likely, so it might be some sort of like dimension thing, maybe. Like if you went down this, it would lead somewhere.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's not gonna happen.
Does Lisa share this information?
I mean, this is her and Ulrich putting it together, so.
You're suggesting that there might be something under the house?
Yes.
So we're talking about soft and loamy dirt. Are we talking about like loosely loamy? Are we talking about
Yeah,
like
very very loose.
Loosely loamy.
Like I basically just sunk the sword in there without any effort, right?
you could do
Yeah.
that in like sand too, but you can't jump into sand.
Well, you'd have
Like,
to like.
would I have how much digging would one have to do to move some of this aside? Is it like really, really fluffy and
It's very very fluffy. Yeah. Not a whole lot of effort would be required. You might be able to just be able to jump into it.
Donan's just gonna jump in.
No,
Oh gosh.
no.
Do we get any type of prompt about this?
Or does
I mean-
Donan just jump?
I mean, Leasing is right there, but otherwise.
Don't
I
even,
mean, I
like-
would try to catch
So
him.
you're
but, like,
saying
I
there
don't
might be
think
something
I could
down
do
there?
that.
So what you're telling me is that the halfling druid tries to catch orc.
Well, I was gonna
jumps
say I
in,
would, but I don't think
who's
that's
wearing
even
heavy-
possible
yeah.
for me
Yeah.
to do.
You'd
So
probably
I
get
think
pulled in.
you should
You
definitely
just get
try
yoinked
at
right along with
leasing.
him.
You should definitely
Yeah.
try at leasing so you get pulled
okay,
in with
I
him.
mean, yeah, she tries.
Dwarves' bones are like made of bricks. You're just gonna get yoinked right down with him.
Yeah.
So do I need to make like a? what
Yeah,
kind of roll is
make
that?
Strength check.
make a strength check. Yeah. No, strength save.
Okay.
Strength save.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't gonna go well, but.
How much do you weigh, Donan? Right below proficiency bonus.
How much does Donan weigh? It's not polite to ask a dwarf their weight.
I'd think it'd be a point of pride.
You would.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, Leasing. You just barely managed to catch him.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Somehow.
Magical druidic strength.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
seriously.
just lift him out by the beard with one hand.
Do I need to make a Constitution save to not get my face ripped off?
No, I think no. What happens is like Donan like just goes to jump for it, and Lisa, you just grab him by the arm and just like brace against like the wood of the floor, right,
Yeah.
and manage to like stop him, and he's like kind of like his feet are in the loam, but like you're just like nope. Yeah. So what do? You can
Do I
drag
get
him out if
scared?
you want, but
I mean, yeah.
okay,
That's
you just
what I would-
drag him out.
yeah.
Donan, how do you respond?
Corn blossoms. What did you do that for?
That would have been a bad idea.
What's with this? We want to find out what's down there, right? So why don't we go down there and find out?
Because it's some kind of magic that we're unaware of why it's here, and it's probably not a good idea.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Dead.
Like the cold space that was once my heart.
Honestly,
Oh my
we figured
gosh.
out that these people are dead. I mean, what purpose do we have to go and
Yeah.
exactly where is this going anyway?
Caleb, what's in this building over here?
Erastus
gonna
just
go
walks
look
away.
I've been outside because I didn't trust the building.
Oh,
And I'm
right.
just like, all right, I'm gonna go look at the other buildings while they're.
Yeah. Nothing
with
of
that.
value. It just seems like a normal house.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I'm
like
just
the
gonna
others.
go in all of them until I find something useful.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, when you go in that second one, you get
This one.
attacked by vine creatures.
this one here.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I mean, do I make a perception
okay.
check or anything like that?
Yeah, you can make a perception check to like notice beforehand that you're about to be attacked by vine
I
creatures.
would like to do that because then I would just not go in that one. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't roll
Nope.
anything but a 7.
Oof.
So I think what happens is, as everyone's kind of like figuring out like
Have your sense of
whether
adventure.
exactly, we see Erastus just like walking down the like street and then like poking his head into one of these houses, and then the door shutting closed behind him, and then we see vine creatures creeping
Wait,
after
they
him.
can shut the door?
No, like the door like swung closed behind you, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Just as like a dramatic. I don't know if you would have done that,
Right.
but like.
Okay, I was like, did they close the door?
No.
Like,
But let's go ahead and take our first and probably only break, and
Yeah.
come back, and I don't know. We'll figure out what's gonna happen next. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been Anno Domini. We'll be back right after this. Stick around.